Hello.
How you doing?
This is Lori,
This is Peter.
and we're with Action Heroes LA, a subsidiary of Heroes Character Rental Service, with another review, this time of
Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Nice! Yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home, which came out a few months ago.
Yes.
I'm a little late to this train because it was during COVID surges that this got released in theaters, and I was this close to going before, whatever variation just went crazy, and I was like, no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to stay home. I'll catch it when I can get it. Catch it.
Yeah, I think I went
Did you
the
go?
first week.
Yeah.
And I just had to see it.
Yeah. I mean,
I love the way the theater handled it. You know, they said you have to have proof of vaccination.
oh, they were doing that.
You have to show. You can't even buy a ticket. You can't. In fact, you can't even go in to buy a ticket unless you prove it.
Okay. Well, they have the apps though.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Oh, really?
They did both. We want to see
Okay.
that.
Oh, you have to do that.
Have it on the app.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, so
Wow.
they did that. And they also said, and you have to wear your mask.
Were they selling popcorn and all that stuff?
They were, but it was like, it's in there, open it, get your popcorn, pay for it.
Oh, okay. They had it isolated and
yeah.
they weren't dishing it. Oh, wow. Okay.
No,
Well,
they didn't.
I guess I could have seen it then, but we'll get into that. So, Spider-Man No Way Home, we have, what is your boy name? Tom Holland is back, of
Yes.
course. Zendaya. We have the major villain of this. Actually, no, we have a lot of surprises with this one.
Yes.
Which is what, when this came out and I decided not to go to the theaters, there was so much great buzz about this movie. It was number one and for weeks, and then it dropped to number two, and then it popped back to number one. I'm like, what is going on with this Spider-Man movie? I've got to see this. So the first chance I got to watch it.
The first time I saw it in theaters, and I was just, at first, for the first, I'll say, 15, 20 minutes, I was ready to walk out.
Wow.
I was like, I knew they had messed up, going with his identity. People know his identity and stuff like this. They just messed up. I didn't like, it almost felt like they were trying to find a way to fix this because they messed it up.
I kind of like the concept of them, because you haven't, in the way they, I like the early scenes of them dealing with, revealing a superhero's identity and how people react to that. I found interesting. So.
Well, I never, ever liked J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. So, but the actor who played him did him perfectly.
Oh.
So.
Well, he's great.
Yeah, he is.
He's great in everything.
He is.
Oh, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Damn it. Continue though.
But anyway, but after it got going, I was just right in there.
Yeah.
And after the movie was over, I just took a deep breath and I was like, whew, oh my goodness.
J.K. Simmons.
What a ride.
Sorry, J.K. Simmons. You're great.
Yes.
I love you in a lot of stuff.
Well,
what a ride.
Yeah.
The first time?
Yeah.
The first time through?
The
How many
second
times did you see it in the
Two
theater?
times.
You saw it
Oh, no,
twice.
once in the theater.
Once in the theater.
Once in the theater. The second time here with you. And I was watching it, and it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Oh my God! Wow. Well, it was when we watched it together. It was my first time watching it, and like I said, I really liked the opening. I didn't mind them dealing with his real identity being revealed. I already knew about, and spoilers if you haven't seen this, don't watch this review because we're going to get into it. I had already heard about the cameos by the various Spider-Man. Well, we knew some of the villains were coming back, and that everybody's like, oh, there was I won't tell who's coming back in this, but it was great. It's like, well, I can already figure out what that's gonna be. So and it's months later, so I already figured that stuff out. So in watching the movie, I realize I'm kind of with you. I mean, I wouldn't call it one of the worst movies ever, but I was trying to understand the hype. There wasn't really much story to go on beyond these cameos that they had, and the idea of bringing these bad guys back, and which was cool. But they didn't develop it beyond the idea. It was like, wouldn't it be cool to bring Doc Ock back, and to bring Sandman, and to bring everybody else that I missed in the Andrew Garfield ones,
right?
Because I didn't see those.
Well, when I was in the theater when Andrew Garfield came on, and people started clapping, I couldn't believe that many people knew him and or liked him. I hated him as Spider-Man.
Okay.
Loved him in this movie though.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah, I didn't see his Spider-Man movies, but he's been good in so many movies I have seen that I was cool with him. And I loved him in this too. And Tobey Maguire's back.
Yes, and I really, really like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's so much of this was like, wouldn't it be? I basically they watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and thought, yeah, that'd be cool to bring these people back, but we'll bring back 2 Spider-Man and the villains, but they didn't give them a good reason to be there. They didn't give the villains any good motivation beyond Jamie Foxx's. Kind of had an interesting motivation to want to wreak havoc and all that. And plus, when they brought them back, and then they immediately jailed the villains, so they're just standing around in jail.
And then
they get out, and then Doc Ock is like good, then he's bad, then he's good, and then he has to be turned back to good. I was like, what the hell is going on in this movie?
Well, the thing is, one of the things though, I could tell from the first time that Doc Ock came out, the way he moved, the way he talked, everything, he was going to be a catalyst to be good. He was going to be able to help Tom Holland, get things together, and that became something true. I love the way they did things to whereas. Like with Electro, with Jamie Foxx's character, I love the way they took his comic book, like costume, and kind of did a few things in the movie and stuff like that, and you kind of like very good, I really like the way that they handled the Green Goblin. Although I couldn't understand certain things, I
That's
never
right,
knew.
Green Goblin. How could I forget Green Goblin was back?
Yeah, Green Goblin was. Was he doing things to just make people feel certain ways? Make you think he was good, versus
that's they didn't
like
that was kind of you kind of have to give people a little clue as to the character's motivation. Like the Green Goblin comes back and he you think he's helping him out. There's no kind of sign or hint that maybe he's effing with them, and all of a sudden he turns, so it's like they say it doesn't feel earned when he, all of a sudden he's the bad guy even if it was like the main character is like, or one of them's like, oh don't know if I kind of trust him. I get a spidey sense. Maybe I shouldn't. But you have to establish something, and they don't. There's a lot of problems with this movie, which is I'm kind of surprised that how much hype and how much love it got. But I think it's one of those cases where, they have all these great surprises, all these like fan satisfaction moments that once you get past that, which is I was at the point I know they were going to happen, it's like, then what do you have a movie left? And I'll bring up like the first Venom movie, which we gave a really good review. I gave a really good review of that because it surprised me in certain ways. But when I finally watched it like a second time, I was like, this really isn't that good. Once you get past the things that surprise you, there's not really enough there to make a good or interesting movie.
Well, to me, that first Venom movie...
You still like it?
Oh, I still like it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have to try it again. I was like, I'm not feeling this like how it was.
But this movie, there was a lot of things forced when when Jamie Foxx and I think it was Andrew, when they talked about Spider-Man and stuff like that, that just seemed forced. We gotta say this too, bringing us like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
And that character doesn't need to say it, and it doesn't need to be brought out the way you're bringing it. It's almost like, oh, we have to do this, and they took a rock and broke a window to do it. And it's like, wow.
I found this movie kind of a mess. They had the flimsiest idea or concept to base it on. And like I said, it would be cool to bring all these people back, but they didn't develop anything. It's no Free Guy. No. Which could have been a very flimsy concept. Could have easily been a very flimsy concept, but they say, you know what, let's build an interesting story under this.
To me, a lot of the reasoning for why these characters were able to come back and stuff, it just, everything from Doctor Strange trying to, do this spell and Spider-Man, it was just, hey, let's throw this upside the wall and see if it stinks.
Pretty much, yeah.
Hey, let's run this up the pole and see if anybody salutes.
Right. We have characters in this. They're trying to take some Marvel stuff that Marvel is doing, and it's a different company, it's a different studio handling this property now because they're the ones who really own Spider-Man, unfortunately. And they can't do Marvel movies.
No.
And so, but they're trying to do something, and this really didn't work for me. I was just not impressed at all.
Like I said, the first time I saw it, I was like, okay.
Marvel has this multi-universe concept coming up. Let's throw that in there, and let's touch on that because it'll tie into what's going on there. And
hey, Marvel, let's not.
Well, I think Marvel's going that route, but they're gonna handle it better. They're already handling it better than this movie has any concept of doing. So, do you have any final words on Spider-Man: No Way Home? Am I the only one? I have to look to see some reviews of this because I haven't watched any to see. Yeah. Because I'm just shocked that it was so popular. But like I said, it's one of those things. It had a lot of moments for the fans that were exciting, but once you get beyond that, there's not a lot there.
There isn't. There really isn't. Yeah. There's a lot of moments. Yeah. But there isn't a good movie. No.
I agree. So it's I don't know, I think it's in theaters. I'm not sure when it's coming to streaming. Oh look, there's some. Oh no, that's something else. I have to check. Anyway, Spider-Man, if you've seen it, you may have been one of the millions that ran out to the theaters and saw this movie. Please let us know in the comments what you think. What am I missing? Let me know. What do I need to look at? Because I'm wasn't feeling it. And I liked all the actors in it, but I just didn't like the movie. You know, I was like, wow, I'm kind of glad I didn't go to theaters to see that.
Yeah, I'm glad I went to the theater because that was the only place I liked it.
Yeah, well, you saw one before. You know, if you didn't know the surprises, the spoilers, I would have had a great time. I would have known. If I would have went that first week, I would have been like, wow, that was amazing. But then seeing it later and like, maybe not. Yeah. Anyway, that's we out.
We are out.
We out, Spider-Man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Oops. I said stop streaming. And I meant stop recording. Got extra.